back to Golden Cloud Recruitment System. This is part 2 of our tutorial series where we will further explore and demonstrate the other subsections of the request section. So we will continue with the transfer of sponsorship requests. So this subsection holds significant importance, especially in situations where a domestic worker intends to transfer the sponsorship to another client for whatever reason. In such situations, the domestic worker is unhappy with the current employer, so she may request to return to the agency. Alternatively, the client may bring the worker to the agency to address any concerns or any misunderstandings. This can also happen to the client if the client or the customer is unhappy with the worker at home, so they can bring the worker to the recruitment agency. So in the cases, if there is a satisfactory resolution that is reached, the domestic worker may return to the client's home. The agency ensures that both parties are clear on agreed upon terms, fostering a positive and respectful working relationship. There are some cases where the agreement cannot be reached and the working relationship remains strained. So the status of the domestic worker in the inventory or in the worker stock is going to be changed into available for service transfer. So after that, the worker is then accommodated in the agency staff housing, ensuring her well-being while awaiting placement with a new client. The first thing that we need to do after the client has came to the recruitment agency and bring the worker with him, we will navigate back to the recruitment request subsection and search for the client's request associated with the domestic worker who intends to transfer her sponsorship to another client. So here we have this request, which is request number 4. We can see here the name of the customer and all the essential information, and we can see that the request status is closed and warranty period. So upon locating the recruitment request, we need to click on the request status itself, and then this pop screen will appear to us, presenting 2 options for further action. So the available choices are as follows. Here we have case proof record between the sponsor or the client and the housemate. And here we have receiving the housemate from the sponsor for housing. So the agency can choose to move forward with the process of receiving the domestic worker and accommodating her in the agency staff housing. This option is selected when both the client and the domestic worker have agreed to proceed her, and the agency is ready to take the custody of the worker, pending her placement with the new client. So we will be clicking on receiving a housemate from the sponsor for housing. After clicking on this option, this small pop screen will appear to us. Here we have the report name. We need to establish this report with the essential information. This is a proof that as a recruitment agency or as a recruitment office, we have received the worker from the client. We go to this add button, we click on it, and then here we need to upload the informations. We can see here that this is the request number, the customer name, the customer identification number. Here we have the mobile number, and here we have informations about the worker. Here you can see that we have fields that it needs to be specified. At first, received worker passport. So as the customer service employee, did the customer give you her passport or not? In the case, if you have the passport, you click yes. If the case of the client didn't give you her passport, you click on no. But in this example, we will be going with the yes, and that we have actually received her passport. And then here we have received worker iqama, which is the residency visa. We need to specify if the client has given to us or not, or if it's actually already with the worker. received worker salary if the employer has given the worker her salary for the whole month. And here we have, this is the worker committee decision, if she actually approved that she wants to be accommodated and transferred to another employer. After that, here we have workers committee decision attachment, here where the worker can write in an A4 in a blank paper, writing all the things that happened, and she agreed to be accommodated and she doesn't want to work with this employer anymore. We're going to click on it and we're going to choose any random attachment in here. And here, procedures agreed with the client. Of course, there are certain legal and procedures that must be happened between us and the client. So we need to write everything down here. So we're gonna write any random explanation. Okay, and here you need to put the date of receiving the worker. Let's go and choose this date, and here you can specify at which time exactly. After that, you click on done, and then here we press on save. After that, as a customer service employee, you need to print the attachment or the report itself. After that, the client must have his signature on it. After having his signature on it, you need to scan it and then re-upload it all over again into the system. Like that, attachment, open, and then here, apply changes. After that, here you need to specify which housing. If you have multiple housing or accommodations, you can select which one. We will go to Black Roses. Here the currency, the cost per day. Here we have the reason of housing. The worker is unhappy with the customer. Here the date of the housing, we'll choose the same date, and then after managing and making sure that all these informations are accurate, we click on the worker receiving and housing. Now, when you press on the close button in here, you can see the status of this recruitment request has changed, closed, and accommodated. It means that we have received the worker from the client and we have put this worker on the accommodation. Now, we will navigate to the worker stock subsection. So we can check the status of the domestic worker and observe that her status has been updated to available to sponsorship transfer. So when the staff access the workforce inventory or stock, they gain a quick overview of the available domestic workers. By maintaining an up-to-date and easily accessible workforce stock, the agency ensures that all employees are well informed and capable of providing efficient and tailored assistance to clients seeking domestic workers for service transfer. This streamlined process enhances client satisfaction and reinforces the agency commitment to delivering high-quality service. So after confirming that the domestic worker is willing to work with another client and is currently in the accommodation, any prospective client can approach the office and inquire about the availability of domestic workers for service transfer. In this scenario, customer service representatives can go to the worker stock subsection to verify the number of domestic workers available for service transfer. So customer service representatives access the worker stock where they can view the current availability status of domestic workers who are ready for service transfer. And based on the client's requirements, customer service representatives provide the client with several examples of available domestic workers. This includes showcasing the profiles of different workers with diverse skills and experience. In a more simpler way, they can show them their CVs. So the client is given the opportunity to review the detailed profiles of each domestic worker, including information about their work history, skills, and any special qualifications. This ensures that the client can make an informed decision. And after reviewing the presented examples, the client select the domestic worker who best fits their criteria and preferences. And this selection is a crucial step in ensuring successful and satisfactory employment relationship. So once the client has made their choice, the selected domestic worker is brought to the office. This allows the new client and the domestic worker to have a face-to-face meeting, fostering understanding and communication. And during the meeting, the customer service representatives facilitates discussion between the client and the domestic worker, and the goal is to ensure mutual understanding and agreement on the terms of employment, duties, and working conditions. Now, let's start the procedures for service transfer through the system. We will begin by clicking on the Add button. Afterwards, a pop screen will appear to us, prompting for essential information. So customer service representatives will enter details such as the name of the client, the name of the worker, relevant dates, and any specific conditions or agreements reached during the client selection process. So when initiating the service transfer request, the system prompts the user to select the domestic worker for whom the transfer will be processed. Clicking on the field designated for selecting the domestic worker will display a menu featuring only those workers who are currently available for service transfer. So basically, the system employs a filtering mechanism to exclusively present the name of domestic workers whose status is available for service transfer. This focused selection ensures that only eligible workers appear in the drop-down menu. In this example, we only have one worker. So after selecting the domestic worker, the user proceeds to choose the name of the new client who will assume sponsorship of the domestic worker. This involves clicking on the field dedicated to client selection, which triggers a menu displaying the names of the clients eligible for service transfers. And in this example, we will be choosing any random customer. So after following the selection of the domestic worker and the client, the next step involves specifying the trial period duration. So the duration of the trial period is determined through mutual agreement between the client and the recruitment agency. It can be set at 15 days or any other duration as per the negotiated terms. It's essential to emphasize that the trial period serves as precautionary phase during which the client assess the domestic worker's performance. So basically, the agency engages in discussions with the client to determine the appropriate duration for the trial period. In this example, we will be choosing any random period in here. We will be choosing 20. So throughout the trial period, the client evaluates the domestic worker's performance, ensuring that it aligns with their expectation. But if during this time, if the client is dissatisfied with the domestic worker's performance, they have the option to return the worker to the recruitment agency. But after the conclusion of the trial period, if the client chose to retain the domestic worker, they assume full responsibility for her continued employment. So basically, the recruitment agency wouldn't handle any responsibility of the worker. So any concerns or any issues related to the domestic worker's performance become the client's responsibility. Now let's proceed with the next step in the service transfer process, which involves specifying the domestic worker salary. In this example, we will be choosing 2,000. After that, you need to determine the transfer date and time. From this calendar, we will be choosing this date, and then we will be clicking on done. And here you need to enter the service transfer cost along with the applicable value added tax. So once you enter the service transfer cost, let's go and put any random cost. The system will calculate for you automatically the tax, and here you can see the total amount. So this is everything about the transfer of sponsorship request form. This is for the mandatory and required fields. Here we have the rest of the fields. They are not mandatory. They are optional. Most of them are related to the cost of the government for the transfer of sponsorship. Here we have refunded visa fees for the previous sponsor, immigration fees for service transfer. Here we have the residency visa, a medical analysis, and stuff like that. So after making sure that all these informations are accurate, we click on this create button to initiate the process of the transfer. We can see here, this is number 4. This table will show you the customer and the previous customer of this worker. Here we have the recruitment request. Whenever you click on this request, the system will automatically transfers you into the request form. Here we have the request status, service transfer, probationary period, the worker number. Whenever you click on this number, the system also will transfers you automatically to the profile of this worker. Here we have the name of the worker, nationality, time and date of the service transfer, the experiment period. Here we have the total cost, and here we have the invoice and the company and the follow-up. So of course, after making the transfer of sponsorship, you need to establish an invoice. Whenever you click on this button, the system will automatically transfers you into the invoice form, so you can upload the informations. You can see that most of the informations are there without any manual input. Everything is going to be calculated for you automatically. Here we have the invoice reference, it's a request, the request type, the invoice type. Here we have the invoice reference. It has selected the name of the customer and the request number. Here we have the service transfer cost. All these and numeric data here in this small table has been reflected from the form we did a few minutes ago when we were putting informations about the customer, the client, and the worker, and the salary and stuff like that. Here the invoice amount, the tax, and everything. So after making sure that all these informations and numeric data are accurate, we click on this create button to initiate the process of adding an invoice for the transfer of sponsorship. And now you can see that the invoice here has appeared to us, which is number 7. Whenever you click on the invoice, the system, as I said before, will transfer you automatically there, so you can browse the invoice all over again. So this is everything about the transfer of sponsorship request. Don't forget that you can also download this table in 4 different formats by clicking on this action button and then choosing download. Here you have 4 different formats. Choose the one that suits you the most. The last subsection that we have is the request report. This subsection provides a powerful tool for efficiently managing and accessing information related to various requests. If you find yourself dealing with a substantial volume of requests and need to pinpoint specific details quickly, this feature is designed to streamline the process. So within this page, you gain the ability to sort and filter request information swiftly. This feature enables you to organize and categorize requests based on the specific criteria, ensuring that you can locate a particular request within seconds. The user-friendly interface is designed to make it convenient for the user and to navigate through the data effortlessly. So let's make any example here to show you how this actually works. You can see that all the fields are not mandatory, they're optional, whether you want to sort and filter or you want to search manually for the request. For example, here, if you click on the country and you choose Philippines and then search, the same table will appear to you because all the recruitment requests that we have are from Philippines. In the case, if you choose a recruitment request to be processing and then you click on the search button, only one request will appear to you because we only have one that is still under processing. And this goes for the rest of the fields. So whether you are searching for a specific request, filtering requests based on criteria, or sorting them according to your preferences, the request report empowers you to manage and retrieve information with efficiency. This tool enhances the overall user experience by providing a quick and reliable means of accessing critical information in a dynamic and paced environment. So this is everything about the request report. Thank you for watching this tutorial video on the Golden Cloud recruitment system. If you found the information valuable and would like to stay updated in more tutorials and insights, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. If you have any additional questions or inquiries, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also contact us through the provided numbers in the description. We value your feedback and we are here to assist you. Stay tuned for future guides where we will continue exploring and optimizing your recruitment processes with Golden Cloud Recruitment System. Your success in recruitment is our top priority. Thank you for choosing Golden Cloud, and we look forward to being part of your recruitment journey.